If in the name Ahad we find the number 168 by examining the arrangement of the letters that make up the name, Alif, first letter, Ha, sixth letter, and Dal, eighth letter, then in the sentence Bismillah, in the name of God, we find the number 168 through gematria analysis. The opening words of the Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, contain an ocean of meaning that has been explored by scholars, Sufis, and thinkers for centuries. It is a gateway to the Holy Scriptures, a proclamation that everything begins with and in the name of God. Generally, experts in gematria, the science of Arabic numerology, calculate the total value to be 786. However, a more detailed examination reveals a fascinating dual structure, a cosmic signature hidden beneath. If we break down the Bismillah into its two conceptual phrases, we discover a remarkable duality. 1. The action and foundation phrase, Bismillah, in the name of Allah. 2. The attribute and manifestation phrase, Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. When we apply gematria to these two phrases, we not only obtain a number, but we discover two fundamental constants that are the pillars of the universe as we know it. 1. The pillar of structure and order, the number 168. The first phrase, Bismillah, BSM-LLH, is a statement of intention, source, and authority. It is the foundation of all action. The gematria calculation yields, Bismillah, BSM, 2 plus 60 plus 40 equals 102, Allah, LLH, 1 plus 30 plus 30 plus 5 equals 66. Total Bismillah, 102 plus 66 equals 168. The number 168 is no ordinary number. As discussed in the previous section, this number mysteriously appears at the heart of pure mathematics and theoretical physics. It is the order, or total number of symmetries of the Klein-Quartic curve, a mathematical object that represents the highest degree of symmetry for its genus. Symmetry in physics is the fundamental language of the laws of nature. From subatomic particles to the structure of galaxies, the principles of symmetry govern how the universe operates. Here we see a remarkable resonance. The phrase, declaring action in the name of Allah, the first principle, the source of all order, is numerically connected to the number that symbolizes the purest fundamental structure, order, and symmetry in mathematics. It's as if beginning something with Bismillah is an act of aligning oneself with the fundamental blueprint of the universe. 2. Pillars of life and beauty, the number 618. The second phrase, Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, Ar-Rahman Lorhim, is a statement about God's nature and attributes. Ar-Rahman, El-Rahman, 1 plus 30 plus 200 plus 8 plus 40 plus 50 equals 329. Ar-Rahim, El-Rahim, 1 plus 30 plus 200 plus 8 plus 10 plus 40 equals 289. Total Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, 329 plus 289 equals sign 618. The number 618 immediately brings to mind one of nature's most famous constants, the golden ratio, or phi, pH, which has a value of approximately 1.618. The number 618 is the first three digits after the decimal point. The golden ratio is often referred to as the divine proportion, because of its countless ubiquitous occurrences, in the spirals of galaxies and nautilus shells, in the arrangement of flower petals and sunflower seeds, in the ideal proportions of the human body, and in the most beautiful and harmonious works of art and architecture. Here, the symbolic correspondence is no less striking. The phrase describing God's abundant mercy and grace is numerically connected to the constants that define life, organic growth, beauty, and aesthetic harmony. It is as if the manifestation of the attributes Al-Rahman and Al-Rahim is the beauty and harmony we witness throughout creation. Together, 168 and 618 in the Bismillah paint a complete picture that behind the universe we see, filled with beauty and harmonious life, 618, there is an unshakable foundation of symmetrical law and order, 168, all of which emanate from a single source. This is a reflection that takes us from the sacred text to the heart of mathematics, from theology to biology and art, suggests that what is believed to be divine revelation may have echoes and resonance in the universal language of the universe itself, the language of numbers and patterns. It begins with the principle, Bismillah, 168, the solid foundation, the orderly law, and the symmetrical structure of the universe. This is the masculine aspect of reality. abstract, logical, and fundamental. Then it flows into manifestation, Ar-Rahman Rahim, 618, the expression of the principle in the form of life, beauty, compassion, and harmonious growth. This is the feminine aspect of reality, creative, nurturing, and expressive. Together, 168 and 618 in the Bismillah paint a complete picture that behind the universe we see, filled with beauty and harmonious life, 618, there is an unshakable foundation of symmetrical law and order, 168, all of which emanate from a single source. This is a reflection that takes us from the sacred text to the heart of mathematics, from theology to biology and art, suggests that what is believed to be divine revelation may have echoes and resonance in the universal language of the universe itself, the language of numbers and patterns. The Bismillah, when read through this lens, is not just a sentence, it is a cosmic equation that explains the totality of existence. It begins with the principle, Bismillah, 168, the solid foundation, the orderly law, and the symmetrical structure of the universe. This is the masculine aspect of reality, abstract, logical, and fundamental. Then it flows into manifestation, Ar-Rahman Rahim, 618, the expression of the principle in the form of life, beauty, compassion, and harmonious growth. This is the feminine aspect of reality, creative, nurturing, and expressive. Together 168 and 618 in the Bismillah paint a complete picture that behind the universe we see, filled with beauty and harmonious life, 618, there is an unshakable foundation of symmetrical law and order, 168, all of which emanate from a single source. This is a reflection that takes us from the sacred text to the heart of mathematics, from theology to biology and art, suggests that what is believed to be divine revelation may have echoes and resonance in the universal language of the universe itself, the language of numbers and patterns. 1.4. Pattern 168 in particle physics. Modern scientists, particularly in particle physics, do not explicitly seek God in their particle accelerators. However, without realizing it, they have been delving into the foundation of creation, into the deepest core of reality, which is nothing less than the stage for His manifestation. In this search, they have discovered a very distinctive fundamental structure in the standard model of particle physics, a theoretical framework that describes fundamental particles and their interactions. But when we narrow our focus to the interactions of the strong nuclear force, only a fraction of these particles are actually involved. At the deepest level, there are only one Higgs boson, 6 quarks, and 8 gluons interacting in the quantum realm that mediates the entanglement of atomic nuclei. The lepton family, despite its 6 numbers, does not interact with the strong nuclear force because they do not carry a color charge. Therefore, the 1-6-8 formation is the most relevant configuration for describing the dynamics of the intertwined particles that form the backbone of matter's existence. This is not mere data, but rather a pattern that reflects the possibility of a deeper, even numerical structural language governing physical reality from the ground up. A. Higgs boson, giver of mass, manifestation of will. Discovered experimentally in 2012 through the Large Hadron Collider experiment at CERN, the Higgs boson has been dubbed the God particle. This nickname was given not because it is God itself, but because it acts like a divine fiat that allows something to become real, a commandment of kun fayakun in the language of physics. The Higgs is an invisible field that extends throughout the universe, an invisible ocean of energy. Particles that pass through it acquire mass, they become physically real, taking on shape and weight. Quarks, building blocks, symbols of diversity. Quarks are the fundamental particles that make up protons and neutrons, the nucleus of every atom, the foundation of all matter as we know it. There are 6 types of quarks, called flavors: up, down, charm, strange, top and bottom, each with its own unique characteristics. They never stand alone, always bound in specific combinations by an incredibly powerful core force, a force mediated by gluons C. Gluons, a binding force, a shadow of divine love. Gluons are the carrier particles of the strong nuclear force, the force that keeps quarks bound within protons and neutrons, an inseparable bond. Without gluons, quarks would scatter. There would be no stability in atomic nuclei, and the universe would collapse into a sea of disorganized particles, a cosmic chaos. Interestingly, gluons themselves have no mass and cannot exist on their own. They exist only in interactions, in relationships. They are not present like other particles, but without them, nothing can survive. This is very similar to the concept of love and spirituality, invisible, intangible, yet the glue that holds everything together, an invisible yet fundamental force. Like Allah's mercy, which encompasses all things, Quran, Al-Araf 156, gluons are the physical form of that love, the force that keeps reality from disintegrating, a manifestation of divine compassion. 1.5. The trace of 168 in the physical constants. After we witness the 168 formation of fundamental particles interacting via the strong force, the number 168 reappears implicitly in the neutron mass constant. If we look at the neutron's mass, tilde 1.675 x 1027 kg, we find a numerical closeness to 1.68. While this is an approximation, the various facts we have discovered so far regarding the spectacular occurrence of 168 in realms ranging from spirituality to pure mathematics and theoretical physics make this approximate approach worthwhile. The neutron's slightly greater mass than the proton, about 0.14% difference, is crucial for the existence of the universe as we know it. If this mass difference were even slightly smaller, about a third of the observed value, hydrogen atoms would undergo reverse beta decay, leaving neutrons dominant, leading to a neutron-dominated universe with no hydrogen to form stars, an impossible scenario for life. Conversely, if this mass difference were slightly larger, more than 0.05% of the observed value, Big Bang nucleosynthesis, BBN, would produce more helium-4 and far less hydrogen, making hydrogen burning in stars and the synthesis of heavy elements more difficult, making life impossible. The extraordinary precision of these physical constants, including the masses of protons and neutrons, is known as the fine-tuning problem of the universe. It suggests that the universe appears to be designed to allow life and consciousness, a perfectly tuned cosmic orchestra. The anthropic principle states that the range of possible observations of the universe is limited by the fact that observations are only possible in the type of universe capable of developing observers. This explains why the physical constants have the precise values necessary for life, a coincidence too perfect to be called coincidence.